Hello everyone, and thanks for tuning in to this edition of Inside Leatherneck Athletics. I am Tom Mavraganis, here with first-year women's basketball coach, JD Gravina. JD, thanks for joining us today, appreciate that.
Thanks for having me.
How is it that you got into coaching, and more specifically coaching women's basketball as opposed to men's basketball?
Well, it's funny, growing up, I never really had it in my mind that I wanted to be a coach. I did teach tennis lessons from the time I was 16 years old. That was my part-time job. And my dad coached high school girls basketball for 10 years. So I've always been around the sport. I've always been around the women's side of the sport. I went to college and majored in math and computer science and thought I wanted to go off and be an insurance actuary and make all tons of money. And I did that for a year and realized it wasn't for me. Went back to graduate school and just happened to get an offer from the head women's basketball coach at William Jewell College, my alma mater, to come back and be an assistant coach under her. And from about the second day on that job, I knew that coaching was what I wanted to do.
Excellent. Sounds like you're very satisfied with that decision then to pursue coaching.
I am. I mean, I love it. I feel like I don't really have a job. You know, it's something I love to do. And the fact I get paid to do it sometimes surprises me.
Definitely makes it a little bit more of a bonus then.
Absolutely.
This season, your first year at Western, your team has already set the mark for three-point buckets attempted and made. You've attempted 597 and made 189. Why such an emphasis on three-point shots?
Well, I mean, part of that is my style of basketball. I think you've got to make the defense guard you on the whole court. And if you limit your players to not be able to shoot three-pointers, and it makes the defense's job easy because they can just pack things in and keep you from getting to the basket. Also with this team, we don't have a lot of size where we can get a lot of post scoring. In fact, our posts score by stepping out, hitting threes, hitting jumpers, or attacking the basket. So we've probably shot a few more threes than we would really like to this season. But I think a lot of three-point shooting will be something that you'll see going down the road. And right now, it's our best opportunity to score. And I always tell our players, you shoot 30% from three-point line, that's like shooting 45% inside the line, and so it's a good shot for us.
Nice. Additionally, Saleh Kuntataite, if I'm pronouncing that correctly,
better than I would,
is 2 3-point shots away from tying the season mark for 3-point buckets and then 3 from eclipsing it. How rewarding is that as a coach to see her kind of progress as the season's gone on?
Well, it's been really amazing with Saleh, especially because at the beginning of the year we were bringing her off the bench. She's recovering from an ACL tear, and I think it took her longer than even she expected. Once she got into game mode, she thought she was 100% ready to go. Once you get in that game, it makes it a little bit tougher to get up to speed when you haven't played for a year. And she's really found her rhythm about halfway through the year. She could have a lot more threes, if it didn't take her so long to find her rhythm. So that's really exciting moving forward to next year, to have someone that can step out and shoot the ball really consistently. But it's been nice to see her have some success because she has been through that battle with the injury.
Nice. It's definitely good to see her come back strong and kind of work through that injury.
Absolutely, and it's been really big for our team too, because like you said, we depend on three-point shooting offensively. So when she's hitting that, really, we've won games because she's hit three-point shots.
Excellent. Now, for this season, when the preseason polls came out, your team was projected to finish 10th, and unfortunately, the Summit League is a 10-team conference. Obviously, that's not going to happen. Your team's definitely not going to finish 10th. Do you think because of the preseason polls, maybe your team kind of slid under the radar a little bit this year, or just how rewarding is it to see that you're not going to finish 10th this year?
Yeah, I think that's, in fact, that's something I'm going to talk to my team about, because as you go throughout the season and you have a little bit of success, you're constantly changing your expectations. I mean, at the beginning of the year, we talked about just making the conference tournament as one of our goals, and now that that's set, we keep increasing our expectations, which is a really good thing. But the players put up a big number 10 on their lockers in the locker room and have really tried to use that as some inspiration. I think early in the year we snuck up on some people, North Dakota State, even UMKC. But as we started getting some wins, I think, at least from talking to other coaches, they knew that it wasn't going to be an easy game against us, and we were going to put up a battle. And really, we've embraced that underdog role, and we've tried to use it to motivate our players. In that, in order to step up and beat a team that is quote unquote better than you, you've got to out hustle them. You've got to really just play harder than them, and they've embraced that. And a lot of the games we have won, I think we've done that.
Nice. It's very good to see that the teams responded that way.
Absolutely.
Kind of taking a look at next season, Nebraska-Omaha is going to join the Summit League, obviously with Southern Utah leaving. You got to play Nebraska-Omaha twice this season. What are some advantages and maybe even disadvantages of being able to play them before they come into conference next year?
Yeah, I think it was good scheduling on both of our parts to play them. They needed games, obviously, since they didn't have a full conference schedule, but they play a very specific style of basketball. They play a 1-3-1 defense, which you don't see a lot. And you saw when we played them at our place in that first game, we really struggled against it. And then we went to their place, we played a lot better. So having that adjustment and being able to be prepared for that, I think next year they'll surprise some teams because it is such a unique defense, and I think that we'll have already adjusted to it, and hopefully that'll give us an advantage. Excellent.
Well, best of luck to you for the remainder of the season. I know you got a couple of games left before the Summit League tournament, and then, of course, very good luck to you next year as well. And to those of you out there watching, thank you for joining us on this edition of Inside Leatherneck Athletics. Stay tuned for future editions.